It is really crazy to be alive. Really crazy to be alive. I mean, ultimately, it's the most normal thing there is. What's crazy is that people don't know that they're alive. I mean, of course, we know we're alive, but to what degree? I mean, we are. That's what we are. We are alive. Like we are this non-physical thing that you can't touch. This non-physical thing. That's who we are. This spirit. We are consciousness. That's who we are. Consciousness is life. We think we are our past experiences and our thoughts about that. That's who we think we are. We think we are what happened to us and what we think we do. You see, I've got a lot of time on my hands because I am not very social. I'm living at home with my parents. I'm alone most of the time. I stay in my bedroom the majority of my time. So I've had a lot of time to think. And when you've got a lot of time to think, you reach the point, you reach the edge of your mind where there's nothing more that you need to think about. You reach the edge of your mind and you jump off that. You jump off the edge that is your mind, jump off the edge of your mind. And what you find is you're still there, you're still here. So I've thought and thought and thought and thought and thought and thought and thought. And then there comes a point where you think about thoughts, and then there comes a point where you realize that you are not thoughts. You are watching thoughts. You are aware of thoughts. And then you realize that, well, that's who I am. I'm not these thoughts. Because most of the time we think we are thoughts. Our whole identity is attached to thoughts and concepts, beliefs, opinions, and all those things are within thought. So you have concepts and beliefs and opinions and memory and imagination, and all that can be encapsulated into one thing, which is thought. Because we do think we are our beliefs. We do. We think we are our beliefs. What we think is right, what we think is wrong, what we think should happen or shouldn't happen. What we think we should do and shouldn't do. What we wish we could do and what we wish we didn't do. All that is thought. And then we attach this whole identity based on that. We encapsulate all these thoughts, these beliefs and concepts. And we put all that into, we group all that into one thing and call that ourself. We call that me. We say, this is me. Because it's you in relation to somebody else. You have different beliefs and concepts and memory. You've got different thoughts than everybody else. You have a unique viewpoint. You have unique concepts and beliefs. So in relation to other people, you think that, this is me. But of course, when you spend a lot of time alone, like I have, and you're not around a whole lot of people, there's not that relation going on. You don't have that comparison. And so you're just left with yourself. You're left with your existence. And so it's really fucking mind-blowing when you really get in touch with the realness of living. It's no longer just a concept. Like, am I alive? Yes, I'm alive. That's amazing that you experience shit. Because I think a lot of the time people think that they are what they experience. But they are not what they experience. They are the one that experiences it. And that has no properties or judgment or whatever. Like that's your livingness. That's the fact that you're alive. That's your existence. And it's all that there is. It is all that there is. Consciousness is all that there is. Anyone can realize this. It is crazy. Really. When you wake up to the realness of your life, of life, that is just fuck, like it's no longer like the fact that there is something and not nothing. And it's you can't talk, like you can't explain this, because I've been to philosophy for ages, and I would always ponder upon the fact that, wow, there's something rather than nothing. But just as a concept is like, oh yeah, that's pretty strange. But like lately I've been having like these glimpses where it's like experiential, like beingness. It's no longer just like a concept, like, wow, there's something rather than nothing. It's like Jesus. Like, this is the something. This is it. Like, I am that. Like, I am that. It's consciousness. Like, it's experiencing. It's knowing. It's reality. That, and it's right here, right now. Because I think usually when we philosophize about, oh, there's something rather than nothing, we think about like the whole universe and like the Big Bang and causality and all that. And so we're going further away from ourselves, thinking about philosophy and concepts, things outside of us. But when you realize that this is the something, that consciousness is that something, then it fucking blows your mind, because consciousness is the most intimate thing there is. Because I think when we think about, wow, there's something rather than nothing, we think about something out there and something big and mysterious and, separate from us. But when you ask that question and you realize that something is consciousness, and you realize that is the most intimate thing that you experience, because that is this. You are conscious now. You are conscious right now, right here. This is the miracle. This is that something rather than nothing. And you can get very deep with that. Like over the past few months, I think because I've been practicing meditation every day, it has definitely helped. So it kind of feels like I've reached this new like baseline where I am more aware that I'm aware, more aware of my being, more aware that, this is reality. However, I still get these like, sometimes get these like these just like in the moment of like, oh shit, like I forgot, like I am fucking real, like fucking this is it, this is the something rather than nothing, this is reality. And I get that, and that's like really profound, because that's like that's all there is, like this is it. And yeah, words can't describe it at all. And but know that it's not something outside yourself. It is yourself. It's not your concept of who you are. It's not who you think you are. Don't try and find yourself in a concept or a thought. You don't need to. Just be aware. That's you. Your beingness. Just just being. That's you. You won't find yourself in a thought or a concept or a belief. They're just thoughts. But what's this one that is aware of thoughts? That's who you are, this being. I can't tell you enough just how fucking just amazing it is to to be aware deeply that you are aware. Or like to be just to catch a glimpse of realizing that you're real, that you're alive. And I know, like, I keep saying it because it's just fucking profound to me. But yeah, words can't describe it because I can say it now, and I'm not like feeling it. I'm trying to like find the right words that will like induce this sort of like this recognition in me. Like I said, there's this baseline where I am more aware of my being, but you can go even deeper and just be amazed that fucking hell, this is reality. This is existence. But yeah, I mean, it's so fucking normal for people to conceptualize all this and like figure out whether they believe it or not, but it's not about belief at all. It's about getting in touch with the one that is even that can even believe in the first place. It's that. It's the space that allows belief to occur. It's not even about belief. One thing that's hard is that it's like, what do you do? Because there's still a tremendous amount of ego left. I mean, there are always going to be thoughts going on. Like, you can't just stop thoughts. There are always going to be thoughts and beliefs and concepts in your mind. But there's still a tremendous amount of identification to those. Me thinking I am this thought, I am this belief, I'm this concept, I'm this opinion. You know, attaching my identity to these things. And so it makes it very difficult when, because you know the saying goes, chop wood, carry water, become enlightened. Chop wood, carry water. Like, it's all just a game still, you know, you're just playing. But I guess it's just frustrating when this sort of this ego isn't doesn't have the right tools to do things in life. You know, for instance, if I want to, you know, upgrade my character, upgrade my ego, like get better at socializing, um, get better at focusing, less procrastinating, get better at earning money, and all this kind of stuff. Like, instead of just like doing it and being like, oh yeah, like I have not got those skills. Let me chop wood, carry water. Let me cultivate these skills. Let me practice this so I can get by in life better. Instead of doing that, it's still so fucking difficult for me to do shit like that because I still don't want to be seen a certain way, or I'm still afraid of like embarrassment or humiliation. And so there's still this sense of self. So it is frustrating. I'm like on the fence, on the fence of like realizing that I'm like this ego is not who I truly am, but also be still realizing that no, yeah, like I am my ego, like I'm still on the fence with it in an experiential manner. You know, it's like I'm consciousness and I'm my ego, then I'm consciousness and I'm my ego. It's just this like pendulum game. But I mean, time goes on, life goes on, and yeah. Another thing that's difficult is talking about enlightenment, because I don't fucking talk about it with anyone. Not really. Because no one's on this path. No one's on this path of self-discovery. Not really. Well, when I say no one, I mean like the majority of people in my life. Like, I've got one friend that is interested in this shit, but I mean, like, I don't know. There's still this like hesitation for me to talk about it because it is like that's the other thing is that my ego doesn't want to talk, like doesn't like fears embarrassment and humiliation and unworthiness talking about spirituality and shit because it's so out there and it's so sort of, I don't know, it's like religious, you know? People think it's a very religious thing. And I guess that's my upbringing is that I've always been like fucking atheist, so I I've always look at religion and be like, fucking hell, what are these people doing? How can you believe in a God? How can you like do all this shit? So I've always like growing up, I think always been a bit against religion. And so now that I'm getting into like spirituality, talking about spiritual concepts and stuff, I think there's this part within me going like, just like, oh no, have I become like a religious person now? Have I become like have I become the person that I was like fucking hating, you know? So I guess it's a bit of that in me. And of course like the people that I hang out with would also, I guess, like you attract who you are, so the people I'd hang out with would have, I guess, similar views, so then that would strengthen that identity. So that is a hard thing to talk about. And yeah, because of my previous beliefs. It's not anyone else, So that's a difficult thing. But the other, it's also difficult because like talking about enlightenment, people think that you can become enlightened. And no one really has an understanding of what enlightenment means. Like, if you're fully in your ego, you think that you are your ego, and you don't even know what that means when someone says you think you're your ego, but you're not your consciousness. And someone's like, I don't even know what the fuck that means. If someone thinks they're their ego, then the idea of enlightenment, and you can talk about it non-stop, they're not gonna fucking understand what you mean. Because you, like, and you, yeah, like, you cannot attain an enlightenment. Because there is no one to become enlightened. Enlightenment is just consciousness. Enlightenment is realizing that you exist. It's the most simple thing there is. People think enlightenment is this like extravagant, extraordinary fucking thing. But it's not. Like, you are enlightened already. Enlightenment is who you are. Enlightenment is reality. It's the space around your whole conceptual self. I think enlightenment is just realizing that you're not this separate self, this conceptual self, but you are consciousness. But it's not even that you are consciousness, it's just that there is consciousness, and that's the most intimate thing there is, and that's call it what you will. Consciousness, God, reality, existence, enlightenment, spaciousness, infinity. Probably not infinity, that's probably a different thing. Maybe. I don't know, but it's just it's this moment. And so you can't really. Thing is, you can't know if anyone is enlightened. You can only know if you are. And like I said, you can't be enlightened. There is no one to be enlightened. But I guess what I mean is the realization of no self. The realization that it's just consciousness. I don't know. But yeah, there you go. There's another video for you.